What is a sales funnel? It's really simple. Have you ever bought anything from some other website and you go from, say, a Facebook ad, and then you click the link, and then you arrive on what we call a squeeze page, such as mine on kitcantalk.com. And this is where they squeeze a little bit of information out of you, such as an email, a name, your WeChat ID, line, WhatsApp ID. That's why it's called the squeeze page, all right? There's one objective that you want people to take advantage of, and you're doing your best to influence them to do that, to keep their head going up and down, nodding with agreement. And they go through your squeeze page, they do what you want them to do, they submit the form, in my case, right? They book their demo, and then they go to another page which congratulates them. And I'll just go straight there to save us a little bit of time. Boom. Congratulations, a reminder about the day and time of their demo. From there, they receive autoresponded emails that come to them automatically. I don't need to send them manually, and they're timed, all right? And that's a part of the sales funnel, all right? After the demo, right, the demo's done in your own online classroom, they come back to the website through more autoresponder emails that are timed, and they go on to order within the shopping cart on the website. And for instance, this is mine, if we go special discount, because that's what they receive if they order within 24 hours after the end time of the demo. They go through, they order, and then immediately after, still part of the same sales funnel, they go to this page. Thanks for ordering. A nice confirmation there. And from there, I send the manual emails to get the day and time of their regular lessons going. There's also a membership side to the website, all sorts of fun stuff. But the sales funnel starts at your social media, okay, through the posts, the link within the post that people go through to arrive on the squeeze page, your landing page, and they go from there. The emails are all a part of it, all the way to the shopping cart to order completion. It's all a part of the sales funnel, and the website is a large part of it. I hope that helps. Do I need a sales funnel to get private students? Well, the answer to this question is amazingly no, you don't. But what's going to be more effective? Having one or not having one? You can bet having one. Yet if you really want to get students quick, you're probably not going to do it if you actually do what I'm going to tell you to do right now. Okay, no sales funnel strategy. Well, there's many. One, you can go to your LinkedIn account like I'm in mine right now, and you can simply direct message those who you believe fit your target market description. And really, those should be the only people who are connected to you. You have to have at least one, right? And you could just simply say, hey, I teach a given language. Are you interested? Do you know anybody who's interested? And, 9 out of 10, they're going to say no. If you find one that says yes, the adult, parent of a younger learner, or an adult who is, interested in lessons, great. You lucked out, finding a diamond in a pile of coal. And then you basically can say, well, I'll give you a free demo. Okay. Well, what day and time works best for you? Afternoon, evening, blah, blah, blah. Then you can guide them to your online classroom. Well, in a sense, that's a sales funnel, right? But a very simple one and quite cheesy at that. So they do their online demo class with you, and they're quite pleased. Well, would you like to buy from me, or would you like a package of sessions? And you can invoice them through PayPal, Stripe. There's lots of other ways as well. There's ESL Teachers Hub if they're in the mainland of China. That's one avenue you can take. And you can accept WeChat Pay still at this time that way. I use payment wall. Anyways, but I don't take that very simple, cheap approach because it really doesn't help you to stand out as an online teacher from the rest of the pack. And there's only more getting involved these days. Um, so I really think it's best to have a more well thought out, strategic, and really cool sales funnel set up. So, they can go through a DM or even a post to the entrance of your sales funnel. And from there, they'll receive auto-responded messages that have been tested and optimized. They can go through to your own shopping cart on your website. Looks so much more impressive. See your promotional video. And from there go on to order, and you can book their lessons. But yeah, you can keep it really simple. You don't need a website. Normally a website's a large part of a sales funnel. However, you're not going to get anywhere near the same results because just think about being in their shoes for a moment. Would you be impressed? No, it doesn't look like they're professional. It doesn't look as credible. You're used to going websites. You're used to seeing the promotional videos of teachers. That's not impressive. It's definitely not 2022. So do the right thing, get a sales funnel, but once again, you don't need one. You can keep it so simple and just ask, hey, are you interested? Let's do a free demo. Do you want to buy? But in a perfect world, that would work, but it really doesn't work that well in our world. I hope that answers the question. What should be inside an effective sales funnel? Well, there's a lot that needs to go into it. And do remember that if you use one of these paid sales funnel services like ClickFunnels, which is really expensive, there's so many out there that bump up the cost of your hosting, for instance, that you need to pay each month. You have to come up with the content. As a coach, I help my clients to not only optimize that content, but to put it into the right places. Anyhow, I'm not going to get into that. You need a website, really you do. It makes you look like a more credible source of information. Promotional video. Now on mine, I use this media slideshow, which works well. A booking calendar, highlights from the video should be pointed out. I put testimonials, QR codes I have here in the footer, social media buttons. There's a lot to it. People go through to a congratulations page, which basically, acknowledges that they've booked, it's successful, a little reminder about the day and the time. That's really important. And there's other pages too. Some people like to check the terms of use as well. Privacy policy, the page they come to after they order. The shopping cart is most likely within your website as well. And more, what I thought about as I was putting together my sales funnel, and I did it for a business I had, back in 2003. You want to make it as simple as possible. As they say, keep it simple, stupid. You want to keep them nodding their head up and down. They're asking themselves, just like you have asked yourself in the past, when it comes to buying something on Amazon even, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? Maybe you're not comparison shopping as much when you're looking for an online teacher. You just want to make sure it's a credible source, that teacher, and it really is the best fit for yourself if you're going to be taking lessons, or if your kid, the best fit for your kid. You want to keep it really simple, to the point, and you want to over-impress, exaggerate a little at least. Headlines are super duper important. The words you use, the words in your script that becomes your promotional video. You need to impress. You need to make it compelling, okay? And as well, when it comes to the sales funnel, you need to keep it very direct on what you want the person to do. Don't have a ton of links at the top of your squeeze page, for instance. There's just one thing you want them to do. That is to book the demo class in the calendar. And from there, You got their email. You might have their ID in terms of WeChat, Line, WhatsApp. You got their name. You got what you need to take it to the next level. But yeah, like when it comes to sales funnels, um, that's mostly what you need, and it needs to be all brought together in a beautiful little pathway that people just love traveling through, and they're doing exactly what you want them to do. I hope that makes it clear. How will I know if my sales funnel is good enough? Well, you'll definitely know that it's not good enough if you have targeted traffic running through it and not even booking a demo class, right? Once you have some booking the demo class finally, then they'll need to convert from being a prospect into an actual highly paying customer. When it comes to my coaching proteges, after we've completed the initial sales funnel, we definitely then focus on generating more targeted traffic that comes from their social media and pay-per-click if they're also into having a campaign or two. And we're optimizing what we've done in the sales funnel, so more book demos. And then it's really the power of their own demo class, which is going to get those sales from there. And that's where I come in a private intensive coaching session or two, and I help to strengthen their sales ability by giving them neutralizations to objections, giving them clever ways to speak with prospects in order to try to influence, what they want them to do, and that is to buy. Also, there's other tips and tricks that I teach. From there, they go on to buy and what have you. But yeah, if you're not booking demos through your sales funnel, and you're getting traffic to it, organic traffic that's free from social media, paid traffic through pay-per-click, whether that's Facebook ads, Google ads, Twitter ads, Pinterest ads, whatever. LinkedIn ads are pretty expensive. You're not getting any demos booked, then you got to have to make some changes. You have to optimize, and that's a pretty complex thing to do right. I'm not going to get into it right now. However, you need to finish that initial sales funnel first. That's really important. And use a really good structure to start with. The better job you do when it comes to completing that initial sales funnel, the better off you're going to be in terms of results. You're going to get far more demos and far more sales versus if you don't really know what you're doing and you don't get the know-how coming in. And then you might just say, scrap it, this isn't really going to work. There's no need for that when you can get the job done right the first time and benchmark off somebody who's already getting the results you want and knows the formula, knows the code. So, yeah, you have to test with real people, hopefully your target market, and you need to optimize and continue to do so, and results should continue to improve, especially as more and more members of your target market enters the entrance of your sales funnel. What is the winning mindset of the teacherpreneur in this regard, and what have they done? Well, here's one of my proteges. I coach her, all right, Nicole Antonio of Teacher Cole's English Corner. And we can check out her sales funnel here. So this is the entrance, the mouth of her sales funnel. And it's quite elaborate now, actually. She's done a fantastic job. You got the QR codes here at the top, her promotional video. There's more than just one, really. And she's really taken off and has contractors now, as you can see, which is awesome. And it's very well organized, her booking calendar. It's very easy to find the assessment demo lesson right at the top. Prime real estate, simple, direct, right there in the person's focal point, right? Put in the name, email, password, Remember that you can also ask for another way to contact people, but she decides not to for her own reasons. And then you go through to the next page and you get the autoresponder emails from her company. But she's done a great job. And she realized that, it's just not enough to look mediocre to people, especially now that it's becoming more competitive among private teachers on the internet, because trust me, there's going to be more and more promoting themselves on LinkedIn and Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's going to be more and more Facebook groups targeting parents and IELTS learners and what have you, those getting ready to do interviews. So remember, you really do need a sales funnel. This is your business coming up. It's worth a website. Geez, my clients only pay around $6 US a month for their website and their domain. They pay yearly. It's worth it. It's your business, and there's just so different ways that you can use your creativity when completing a sales funnel. Is it ever really complete? Not really. Like, it gets so that you don't have to come back to it as often, right? You just test with real people who fit your target market description, as many of them as possible, as quickly as possible. I help people to do that. And then we optimize, make a change, right? Should we keep the change or lose the change depending on results? Did things get better? More demos being booked thanks to the change we made to the top of the squeeze page? Great, then let's keep the change. Oh no, less demos being booked, right? And we're doing an accurate test because we've had so many people go through. Well, we better go back to what we had there before for a headline, for instance, if that's what we changed. And let's try something else, okay? But you see, when you're dealing with a marketer, a copywriter like myself, I've been online since the year 2000. My first website, 2002. I've learned a lot. I've had a great coach who goes by the name of Dan Locke. You might have heard of him, might have seen his YouTube videos, but he charges a pretty penny now. About 10,000 US per hour. Is he worth it? Well, yeah. Back in the day in 2004, I paid 750 US for a 45-minute phone call. That was for each phone call. Came with 1.5 months of unlimited, email support. We had a call like every 2 weeks. And I got inside his mind, and I've been working ferociously hard for years, trying to make a few projects happen that didn't. My shapeupsolution.com was a great success. Of course, Kid Can't Talk English is a success. Very proud of it. And I got my next website coming up. So you can learn from all my mistakes and just speed ahead, warp, and get that sales funnel as polished as possible. So you're going to convert, you're going to get demos, and you're going to get highly paying customers right off the bat, as long as you're sending targeted traffic through your funnel. It beats just setting up a, lukewarm funnel and not having any action. And then you got to go to the pro after and remodel the whole thing, do a remake, a makeover, if you want to call it that. So get it done right the first time. Do up a sales funnel. Live to impress your target market. Make them compelled to do what it is you want them to do, and get it done early, and just get it done, because once it's done, it's done. You're not just thinking, dreaming about it, talking about it. Do things right, and you need a sales funnel. I'm sure any website that you've bought from before has a pretty effective sales funnel in place. Otherwise, you wouldn't have bought. So do it right, and I'd be glad to help you. I'm a coach, and let's do this and really mean it. Make it successful.